DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA with DeFi Kingdoms. Lovely to be here with you all, as always. First and foremost, hello, Dreamer, and how are you doing today?
Oh man, right off the bat, I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Happy people are asking questions that we get to ask. And right back at you. How you doing, Bolan?
I'm doing pretty well and excited to be here also. Hubert, how are you doing today?
Ahoy, Bolan. I'm doing pretty good. I don't have any coffee though, so I might sound pretty tired today. I can't drink coffee today until after a doctor's appointment. It's dumb.
I don't know how you're surviving without caffeine right now.
It's great difficulty.
Caffeine is a necessity of life. Unfortunately, we do not have Winston up on stage with us today. However, he will be fighting the AMA bouts with Darth Warpath. So those bouts are up. The first one starts in just over 5 minutes, and the second one will start in just over 10 minutes. So go ahead, get in there, sponsor them, vote on them, whatever you so choose. And I will be attempting to screen share them and hoping that it does not kill my laptop like it did last time. So looking forward to those bouts. Shout out to Darth Warpath for taking on Winston. I'm sad that we will not have Winston here live to see his face when Darth Warpath beats him, but you know, we'll manage. Rolling into some other updates, Hubert, would you like to tell us about progress on the next class in combat?
Sure. Yeah. So we're progressing it. It's been in testing for a little while. I got a round of balance changes in on it. Adjusted a few of the skills to work a bit differently. But overall, it hasn't been nearly as heavy of a lift as Wizard was. So that's been good, and we'll probably have some more to say about that here at some point during this AMA.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. So stay tuned and you might learn more. In the meantime, though, quick update on our first Transcendence kickoff event. The second one is running now, so all heroes and pets being transcended are getting you entries into the second raffle. However, as far as the first one goes, we did get with Burr, and he has pulled all of the data for us, so we are just working on collating, cleaning it up, getting it ready, and then we are going to put out that data as well as a time for the drawing itself. So stay tuned for that, but it is progressing very nicely. We've got the data itself. We just need to make sure it's presentable and fact check everything, and then we will get that shared out to you. So stay tuned for that as well. Last update, I am going to share a little picture here, and then we'll see what Hubert has to say about it. So it's time for a new priority list. I know this is very small, so don't worry. I've broken it into two pieces for you. Hubert, anything you want to say about our top priorities at this moment?
So yeah, I think a lot of this is what you have known about already. Just with us talking about it in all of our AMAs. We still are pushing forward with our pet combat bonuses. Durability is making good progress. We have another class on the horizon, and we did bump up what we've been calling Glory and Honor on our priority list. So that's now a bit higher. But we'll have more to say about that later. I don't have too much to announce on that front at this moment.
All right, and let's take a look at the second part. Anything you want to share there?
Even more classes. So I have we've said it before, but we are kind of prioritizing just like fleshing out our combat system, getting more of our heroes to be like fully usable in the game. So that is a pretty high priority for us. And so, we have a pretty fast turnaround, I'd say, for like this new class coming, compared to like how long it was between when Berserker came out and then when Wizard came out. So we're going to try to keep up that momentum. Of course, we do have other things we're also trying to work on as well. So, sometimes it'll be faster, sometimes it'll be a bit slower depending on what we're doing. But we do also have still the additional hunts reward system is still one of our priorities. And we also want to be expanding our PvE content and also just the combat engine and in general things around combat. We have some things that we've been working on as well that I'm excited to get out. So those are kind of the main things at the moment. So yeah.
Awesome. As a reminder for any of you who may not have been listening last week, there's a question submitted last week asking about Glory and Honor and if it was being worked on. And we mentioned last week, but I'll mention again just in case. Not only is it been bumped a little bit in priority, but we've also been doing a lot of brainstorming on what that system can look like and how that system can work. So we'll have more information on that front coming as well. But yeah, really excited for the Glory and Honor system. I think it's going to be I think it's going to shape up very nicely. All right. Well, that is all of our updates for now for today. So we are going to roll into some questions and then, maybe we'll flip back to a couple more updates. We'll see what happens. So we are going to kick off, as is the proper tradition, with Hubert. First question for you. Why do we have stat limits on training quests and any thoughts on removing them?
So yeah, the stat limits were there. Like when the training quests were put together, it was at a time where we had a much larger team and had kind of a bunch of different branching plans that we were going towards. With training quests in particular, the idea was that there would be like a progression of them, where there'd be a level 2 training quest, level 3 one, and you couldn't do the next one until you reached a certain stat level to be able to participate in it. So it was set up in a way where like the rewards that you get are like tied specifically to wanting there to be a cap and to like also limit how many just how many of the rewards were even possible with a given hero. If we were to take that cap out, it could like increase the amount of lesser crystals that are released to an extent that I don't think we want to do. So, and we'd have to kind of change that whole formula if we wanted to not have that happen, but also not have a cap. So, training quests haven't really been a priority for us for a while, as has maybe been kind of obvious. At some point, I think we can address some of the deficiencies that it has, but right now we're still pretty focused on combat content.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Speaking of not related to training quests necessarily, although I guess kind of. But anyway, any update on the final power up for expeditions?
Yes, that would be the auto leveling power up. Not really as far as updates go. It's still planned to be done, but I would say maybe it can get looked at in like once we have the pet combat bonuses out and durability out. There may be some bandwidth on the solidity side to have that be focused on, but it's hard to say for sure at this point if that will get a prioritization before other things. So it's still on the list. It's just it's been harder to have that be the top priority. But I think also with Divine Essence being out, there could be some additional benefits with that being implemented as well. But yeah.
Cool. Thank you, sir. First break for you of the day. We're going to go over to Dreamer. Dreamer, are we going to see charts back in the trader in game? And yes, T Heat, the fight did start. I'm just bad at this. Sorry. I'm on it. I'm on it.
While Bolon gets that figured out. Yeah, having charts in the game, in the trader, in DeFi Kingdoms is great to have. Isn't that like a necessity, because a lot of the data providers have their own platforms that work better than kind of frame popping out in game. But RBL had a really good offering. They paused that service a while back. We adjusted the interface a little bit. Doesn't look like it's coming back. So I think we'll look to see, just linking to more reliable and currently active sites might be a very easy adjustment in the short term. But yeah, long term, it would be nice to have more integrated dynamic charts that are easy to use. Maybe not primarily in focus at the moment.
Awesome. Thank you, Dreamer. Jumping back over to you, Hubert. Can we show the average experience per iteration on quest completion?
Probably. I believe we already show like the total experience and the number of iterations, so it's just one extra step to just divide the first number by the second number. So yeah, I can mention that to Zip and see if that's something we can get added. Put it on his list.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. This next question, actually, I'll take. Essentially, user was searching DeFi Kingdoms in Google, and there was a website icon that was not the jewel logo, and it just showed like the generic website little icon thing. So yes, thank you for pointing that out. We did actually replicate that, and we're going to get that knocked out. It's one of those where like that website in that browser on that device doesn't recognize our custom setting. So we are going to get that fixed up, but we appreciate the call out because yeah, there's a lot of fringe scenarios like that when it comes to stuff like the website icons and that kind of thing. So if you notice anything like that, please share it with us so that we can get it corrected. But that is on our list to get knocked out as well. Let's see, Hubert. Can you talk about the hit chance percentage that is shown in game and the accuracy of said number?
Sure. So I guess just into the mechanics of the game, like there are two rolls that occur whenever like an attack happens. The first is an accuracy check to see if your hero actually hits just based on what their accuracy is. And the second is an evasion check to see if the target evades the attack or not. So the number that is shown when you like are targeting something is a combined statistic that is the chance of not missing and the chance of them not evading is what's shown there. So which should be correct statistically, but it's not necessarily correct in terms of like that's what the roll that is happening. But yeah, so otherwise we'd have to just show the accuracy and the evasion kind of separately to like give you the full picture of what's happening, which isn't always the most ideal with like AoE attacks and just too much information. So anyway, that's why it's shown that way.
So essentially, if it shows 90%, it's saying that you have a 90% chance both of hitting and of them not evading, but those are two separate things.
Yeah, so you might actually have like an accuracy of like 95% and they might have an evasion of 5% or something. It won't be exactly those numbers because it's not just a subtraction like that, but yes.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the insight. Going over back to Dreamer for a minute here. So the question referenced last AMA. It might have actually been 2 AMAs ago now, to be honest. I don't remember for sure, but it was either the last one or the one before that. But we were talking about the first Visage giveaway, which there is also a second one running. So as a reminder, anyone who runs a hosted tournament that runs will get one of the new Metis Visages, and anybody who participates in any tournament will get entered into a drawing for more of those visages. But we were talking about the first one, and in the discussion, we mentioned that there were 67 wallets that had qualified for entries. The question itself, though, is, are we satisfied with that 67 number? Is there, what our expectations were and what we are doing to increase that number?
Are we satisfied? So is this if I put it like plainly, like, are we satisfied with PvP participation?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. So I think there's kind of two ways to look at it. I'm very satisfied with the build. If we look at the build and things that we solved and ways that we approached, tournaments and rewards and solved other barriers to entry that came down with the cross-chain approach, and PvP being on one chain or a lot of other, major ecosystem features being on others, I'm very, very proud of the build. I'm also very happy with the participation with our community. It has definitely ebbed and flowed, given the different incentives or focuses at the time, but just wanted to thank everybody that has been participating in the tournaments, having fun, enjoying the rewards, and organizing your own as well. It does call to question a couple things that we could do about it. And those are actually, Bolan had mentioned one of the features on the priority list, previously like slotted as Glory and Honor, although that's likely not going to be the final name that we use. There are some features that are in development that we can look to address, some of the reasons why we have less progress or growth with active PvP players. How can we work with YGG better, with Avalanche? How do we access that group of people better? Are there things that we could do with the constraints that we have to get them playing? Are there different features? So happy with the build, very grateful for the community and other folks helping support the features. We do want growth. We want eventually more like exponential momentum focused growth. If that comes too soon, it could just drop off as well. I think we're in a good place. There are just some clear barriers to entry, not only within that feature, but the space in general currently. So being patient while also planning for the future. And I think at least one of those features caters to this question. We're just not ready to share more on it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Hubert, any thoughts on adding a small XP bonus on Void Hunt retries?
If that's asking if you can, every time you retry, you get some XP for the loss that happened. I'd say probably not, just because we don't really want to create a situation where you can just have a bot that will just start a fight and then forfeit it and then and then just repeat indefinitely until XP is maxed out. And we also haven't set things up to allow the combat engine to say, okay, you've done enough moves now to where you qualify for some retry XP, something like that. So if we were to try to address that potential exploit, it would be a bit of extra work that I just don't know that that's going to be a priority.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Jumping back over to you for a moment, Dreamer. We mentioned at the beginning in the updates that we are going to be doing our first Transcendence drawing soon, or our first Transcendence kickoff event drawing, I should say. As I mentioned, the second one is currently running, so don't forget that is going on now. But the question about the raffle itself was asking, as far as the prizes go, so we have essentially there's two raffles. Each of them get a Gen 0. Each of them get a number of a brand new accessory that we've introduced. And then each of them get a number of lesser stone packs. Can we talk about the reasoning behind that for a moment?
Got it. So sounds like a lot of prizes. More prizes equal more winners, therefore less feels bad. However, if you win a prize that you perceive as not good, if the raffle was set up where the not good prizes were in front of the good prizes, and it then precluded you from follow-on good prize raffles. I understand. Some people might be like, well, that sucks. Just eliminate the bad prizes. That's not how it is. I think that we added a number of like just lower end prizes so there could be more winners. That means you can re-win as well. So if you win some juicy stuff and it gets to the lower things and you win those as well, and you look at your airdrop and you're happy, cool. Be happy. If you only win some lower stuff, it did not impact your ability to win the better stuff. So it's not going to be like, oh, I won this thing I don't think is as good as others. That's bad. Why'd you put it in? The way we're doing it is just, more prizes, more better, was the intent.
I like more prizes, more better. Also worth noting as well, part of the thought behind it too is that with Divine Essence, 3 lesser stones can be made into 1 regular stone. So it's part of the Divine Essence system as well, where you can go and upgrade those stones if you want to. So a little cool tie-in. I'm going to grab a question from chat. Can we confirm or deny there will be another raffle for Transcendence next month? I'm assuming by next month you mean after the second event, as in, will we run a third event? Personally, I can neither confirm nor deny. I don't know if Hubert or Dreamer have anything they want to add to it.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on how successful the second one goes.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting question. So if somebody's saying like, oh, I want to hold some ammo in case there's a third one, or that could be smart, but then it might impact like how effective this one was and if we do it again or how we do it. So yeah, I would say I'd like there to be a third one. The first one is so successful. I don't know the numbers, but the number of pets and heroes that were burned was a lot. Not only in a absolute number perspective, but I think percentage as well. If this is just as or more successful, heck yeah, there'll be a third one. I don't know if it'll be the same. We'd want to adjust some things here and there. Maybe it'll be the same, maybe it'll be different, but it will be related. If the first one was very successful and the second one is not really participated in, then you got to do the math and be like, are we kind of like quote unquote losing money or value or inflating based on expected burning that isn't happening? We probably shouldn't do a third one. So if you like it, get out there and use the features, and we're going to try to find fun ways to continue to incentivize it.
Your fate is in your hands. On that though, Hubert, anything that you want to or can share as far as the final numbers on the first event?
Sure. So let's see. It looks like it turned out that the person who had the highest number of entries on quality also had the highest number of entries on quantity. So for those two, and actually the numbers that even kind of came out pretty close to the same, just like times 10 of each other. Like 52,000 entries on the quality one for the top, and then 5,200 for the quantity. But with that said, like going down the list, there are like number 5 and 6 had only like 1,600 quantity entries, while there's still number 5 and 6 on the quality score, I should say. So like there are people that were burning some pretty good heroes. There was another one that was like number 11 on the quality side that only burned 344 heroes, whereas someone further down had burned 3,000 heroes. That like number 15 had burned 3,000 heroes and to get under that other person. So it's really cool to see that there were people that were burning mythics, burning high level heroes, and they were able to without burning too many, they were able to get up that high. And yeah, on the pet counts, I think, let's see, the highest number of pets burned by a wallet looks to be 1,800, whereas the highest number of heroes that were burned, I keep filtering this the wrong way, was 5,200. Was that top wallet. So they actually didn't burn any pets at all when they did that. So I don't know why they didn't do that. They could have got even more. But But yeah, and we'll have that all available. I'm sure once that raffle goes out, whenever Bolon. That's in Bolon's court. So.
Whoa, now. Wow. Do you know off the top of your head what the total number of heroes?
The total number is. Let's see. Where's my sum? It is 73,500 heroes were burned, and on the pet side, it was 10,600 pets were burned.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a fantastic first 30 days. And as a reminder, we're doing it again. So every hero and pet is getting you entries into the raffle. Awesome. Hubert, new question for you. In the game on the back of the card, can we expect the hover over on traits to give the description of the trait rather than just its ID number?
So yeah, I would like there to be at least more info there. Like the basic 7, basic 6, or whatever, like those labels are important for the purposes of summoning if you're trying to get mutations. So I think we'd still want to have that be visible as well. But I would like to see the traits, like their actual descriptions shown there as well. And I believe that has been on Beetle's list, and it maybe needs to get highlighted as another one to be a little bit more prioritized. But it should be there on the list. If it's not, it's going on the list.
Awesome. Question in chat of how do you burn pets? Same way, but they do have to be equipped to the hero. So if you go to transcend a hero with a pet equipped to it, it will ask if you want to include the pet or not. So, but yeah, right there at the Divine Altar as well. Hubert, any thoughts on can we give Resurrection a little bit more smackety smack?
Maybe we can look at it with our balance changes and see if it deserves more smackety smack. We'll see.
Can we talk about what would need to happen in order for us to switch our daily, at least our daily tournaments, into 8-person tournaments?
Yeah, so we have talked about that. Like the main thing is that like the rewards that we put up were all kind of designed around a minimum level of participation with the fees that were used as well. So we would need to adjust the rewards. In particular, if if we were just like switching them from 16 player to 8 player and that's it, and not changing the number of tournaments, then yeah, we could potentially do that. It does kind of affect like the value of the equipment that comes from those chests. Like part of the value is in getting enough people to like join the tournament to do that. So we would maybe need to look at some adjustments there as well. Maybe have a different chest that doesn't always give you equipment, something like that. So it's been something we've discussed. Not really the most ideal situation, because we would prefer just to see more participation than we're getting. But yeah, we have been discussing it at least.
And that's also why we added the chests as well that are dropped to all participants.
Yeah, well, that was an effort to try to bring more people in. We're also, responding to some people's dislike of the current sudden death mode. So we have a different mode that we're going to be trying out soon. So stay tuned on that front as well. We can see, hopefully that'll kind of drive people to be a little bit more interested. I know that there's just some that don't like that it ends up kind of stalling, or some players will end up stalling a bit too much. So we'll see if this will help with that. Also, with the bank shot clock, we're still working on that as well to see if we can, adjust things so that you don't necessarily have atrophy happening on long turns, but instead you just, once your bank's time runs out, you'll have like very short turns available to you, and you have to take quick actions. Otherwise, you'll just get shot clocked basically. So those are things we're hoping that will help just enhance the experience in general, and we'll hopefully bring some people to participate more. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Any thoughts of adding a level 2 power up for quick study? More expensive, but more XP bonus.
Maybe. It would have to, like, with the way that the power up system is set up, it doesn't really lend itself very much to like editing a power up that already exists. Like we'd potentially just have to make it be like a second power up, I guess, for something like that. So we can consider it, but I'm not going to make any promises at this time.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. The next question about was if we could get some info on upcoming releases and potentially an updated roadmap. Yes, is the answer. We did show that at the beginning, but I'm going to pop it back up because it makes me happy and I like it. So that's the full image. I know that one will be hard to see. There is the top. So these are our primary priorities at the moment, as well as some additional things that we are working on in the background and our secondary priorities. So stay tuned for more updates on that front. We'll also share out this roadmap, of course, and get the one in the docs updated to this new one also. But you get first looks. Congratulations. Hubert, couple more questions for you. The first one, I'm sure it would be a huge lift, but would ATB, which I believe is like real-time combat, fix the stalling issue during battles?
So ATB is active time battle, I think is what that stands for, and it's what you experience in like Final Fantasies 4 through 9 and 10 too. Yeah, I mean, that's like a completely different system than what we did and built. So yeah, I think that would definitely like help with stalling. It would also probably have a myriad set of other headaches that we'd have to solve for with our server system. Like everything that we've built around our combat engine probably would not work. So if we were to do that, it would basically be like throw away all the time and energy we put into what we've built all up to this point and redo everything. So that would be, like over a year's worth of effort to do. I would hope that we would have to have some major investors and push for us to go down that direction. And I think there's other things we can do to help with stalling, like I just mentioned, that would probably be a lot more realistic than that. So
nice. Thank you. Quick pause. I did want to give a shout out to Darth Warpath, who defeated Winston twice in a row today. Congratulations, Darth Warpath, and thank you for participating in the AMA bouts today. It's very much appreciated. This next question is actually
Could I chime in on the last one?
Yeah. Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah. So now we answered the question more direct. Could we consider a version or a change? And I think the answer is not without like very considerable amount of investment. I like turn-based much better, especially for our game. I think the alternative is more for like action RPGs, where there's a lot more movement as well. But if we look at like deep strategy games, sometimes you want time to think about it. Sometimes the strategy we're approaching isn't working and we want to adjust it, or we want to understand why we just got hit so hard, or what status is that, and the additional time helps the players, even when we're experienced trying a new class or up against classes less familiar. I think it's a huge advantage to the franchise that we're building. And when you look at turn-based games, you want to have a turn for a reason. What's your strategy? What happened last turn? How many turns ahead are you thinking? And it's more predictable. I think when it's more like real time, that is lost quite a bit, and people just kind of mash. I think that what I'm very proud of is it's very hard to get in and just like mash things and win, or like to create a bot that just does the same thing over and over and win. So when you have counters, when you have different classes, when you have equipment, and when you have a lot of other traits and things that impact the gameplay, turn-based is the way. I think we have a really good platform. And although there's pain points with every path that we choose, there are ways to address it. And we're trying those, and it should continue to improve and get better. But just wanted to add on Hubert's comment as he answered more like, well, if that was the preference, it would be a lot. In my mind, and probably speaking for the team as well, it's not our preference, and that's why we built it this way. And that's why the deep strategy is allowed, because there's time to think and adjust and react.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, thank you for the addition. That was a good addition. I like it. This question is actually quite well timed because chat was having a little side conversation about crafting. So any additional teasers for crafting? Do we anticipate some recipes to be upgrades to existing equipment? So, for example, you might need, a variety of materials and some crafting skills in order to take a Gorbo and make it an improved Gorbo.
That's a good question. I would say I don't really want to take anything off the table at this point. We have questions come up about crafting, I think even last week too. And my answer tends to be kind of the same of, where it hasn't been our priority. So there's a lot that is still to be developed there. But I certainly wouldn't want to say that it's limited only to like ERC20 tokens as ingredients, or only to specific things that you can only get from one source or another source. Like, I think it needs to be a pretty expansive system for kind of the scope of what we're going for. So upgrading equipment could be something that's there. It could also not be. But it's the biggest matter of answering that question is that we need more time to like have that become our focus, which it currently is not, unfortunately.
Good deal. I have one last question, and then if anybody has any questions they want to drop in chat, we'll snag a few, and then we will call it a day. But we were a little bit lighter this week, so we're wrapping up now, unless there's any other questions in chat. But Hubert, one last one for you: When Dread Knight?
That's a while. It'll be a while.
I had to throw it out there, had to do it.
Eventually.
Well, let's see. All right, fine. Any update on pet combat bonuses?
Not really. We did adjust a few things with some balance feedback, waiting for that to be tested out with more feedback. Currently on the contract side of it hasn't been implemented yet as far as like the rerolling goes. That's just because the focus has been on getting durability ready, which we've made some pretty major progress on the durability side. So I think once we feel that the contracts are in a good spot there, then we'll probably have Magnus switch over to getting that rolling done, and that would just increase what we can test regarding the pets as well, and get that closer to being done too.
Nice. Well, I think we did hint towards one last update / teaser at the beginning of this AMA. Hubert, would you like to do those honors?
I guess so. So yeah, I think it's time for you guys to know what the next class is. I've seen some people guess at it already. We have thrown out some subtle and not so subtle hints a couple times, and uh, somebody named TuneFed picked up on it real quick. Um,
He did. He noticed that fast.
He did. With all of that said, and also you might have heard me at the beginning of this, I did a little teaser as well with a nice little ahoy. But our next class to be released is Pirate.
Very nice.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes, and I know 99% of you are shocked and just in awe over this. We will have more trailers coming and more fun to have, but we wanted to go ahead and let you guys in on the secret that Pirate is the next class. Unless Hubert decides to override me and say something here, I don't think we're going to give a time frame just yet, but it is in progress.
Yeah, I'd say 2 weeks is very ambitious. I don't think we're going to be that fast on it, but it is to a point where it's feeling like it's getting to those final stages. So yeah, we're getting there.
Pirate tomorrow. Calm down, T. But yeah, we wanted to go ahead and let you guys know what it would be, and we're looking forward to seeing all of your pirates enter the fray as we continue on through this balance testing. With that, we are going to go into our wrap up for today. We do not have Darth Warpath up here to sign us off. Oh, real quick, I'll at least answer Darth Warpath's question. We talked about it at the beginning, but Berber has gotten all of that data pulled, so we're just getting it organized and cleaned up, and then we will put out the data for the first Divine Essence kickoff event, as well as schedule the drawing itself. So that should be in the shorter term that we can get that knocked out. So stay tuned for the full details. But now that we have the data, it's just a matter of setting up time with Sasha and I to knock out the drawing itself. So anyway, thank you all for, yes, I did say burr. But thank you all for joining us today. As always, we appreciate everybody who is in our audience or in the audience, as well as those of you that will listen to this later. Special shout out to everybody who submitted questions for us to answer, because that's what makes an AMA. As always, you can submit your questions at talk.defykingdoms.com or in the AMA questions channel in Discord. Thank you both, Hubert and Dreamer, for taking the time out of your day to be up here on stage with us. And we're just excited for the future, excited for what's coming. There'll be several tweets and announcements coming out at this point, because we'll send out the new roadmap. We'll send out the fact that Pirate is the next class, and then we'll be sending out the data and info for the first Divine Essence kickoff event drawing. So there'll be a lot of information coming out in a short period of time. Don't forget, we have 2 different events going on right now. If you host a tournament or participate in a tournament, if you host a tournament, you get a Visage guaranteed. If you participate in a tournament, you're getting entries to win a Visage. And if you are transcending heroes and or pets, you are also earning entries to our second Divine Essence kickoff event. So make sure you're taking advantage of those opportunities. The Divine Essence event, we have Gen Zeros up for grabs as well. So those are pretty big prizes coming in at you, as well as brand new, never before seen accessories, which actually this new one's really cool. Did we talk about the new accessory last week, Hubert?
Yeah, we mentioned it. Yes.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to stop talking. Thank you, everyone. Greatly appreciate you. We're going to go over to Hubert for any final thoughts, and then we will go to Dreamer to sign us off as well.
Yeah, so just kind of the same as always with me. I'm always just very happy with all the work that we're doing. I think we're making a lot of great progress, and we're solving a lot of challenging problems, and it's just really fun work, and I really enjoy working with everybody. Everyone does a great job. And also to the community, thank you all for the support, and for those who are participating in tournaments. Thank you for doing that. For those that have been more on the sidelines, I've seen some people offering heroes up to borrow and things like that, which is cool to see. But in general, I hope there are things that we can do to help get people more into tournaments just in general. I think it's a fun feature. There's some, really good high value prizes available. And we want to make sure that we're, increasing participation there. So we're going to keep making adjustments as we go. And, hopefully with Pirate coming out, that'll change the meta up again. So that should be a pretty exciting time. And yeah, I'll pass it over to you, Dreamer.
Alrighty. I didn't know I was going to be a bullish person. And turn my light on. So you all ready here. Got my hat going. Got my blurred background. I'm going to be a B word person. But I don't know if the crowd really was going wild. Didn't hear any screams. But I've seen what Second Best Stat has cooked up with his art team and the game committee. I've peeked behind the curtains, and you need to be excited about Pirate. Pirate's gonna be sick. There's some cool attacks and features that look beautiful. I think it's gonna be really fun to play. And although it may not be out tomorrow or in 2 weeks, it is coming soon. And people got to be excited. It adds a little bit of flavor to it, starting with more of the, I don't know if vanilla is the right word, vanilla classes. We're moving into Pirate, getting into some fun stuff. And I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I hope the gameplay speaks to you as well, as it kind of shifts and changes things up a little bit. As we get to more and more classes and we are able to do rebalance and updates, I'm so excited to see in the PvP landscape what the meta will shift to. Adding new classes in any game that has a bunch of choices is always fun when it hits the scene. And I hope that people are excited for that energy as well. So wanted to add a little bit more excitement on Pirate and the announcement there. Big surprise, but I think for many people, you kind of don't want to be surprised. If we were to throw a random one and skip a bunch of other classes, you'd probably be disappointed. So I know it's kind of funny, people guessing. You can tell what's coming up and what's next, most likely. And maybe it isn't a huge reveal. But on the development side, it sure does feel like it, because there's a lot of build up and a lot of work, not only in making it fun, but look really beautiful and to seamlessly fill into all of the systems that we have in place. So that, along with all the other things on the roadmap, the secret mystery feature, in my mind, is on there, but not officially. And a lot of people are really excited about it. I'm just going to add another teaser that I think it's going to be a cool improvement on the variety of features that we offer our players and related chains. I'll leave it at that. With that, and us being here talking today about a video game that is coming close to 4 years old. It's pretty freaking awesome. We've been around. We continue to build, continue to innovate. We see a lot of silliness in the space, and we're hoping for a lot of maturity and success with all of us. Thank you so much for everybody that's tuned in and contributed, added questions, and playing the game that we all love. We're working our hardest to make sure that DFK is here to stay, continue to come out, progress, and be more robust and competitive and fun and fulfilling. And going to keep doing that to the best of our abilities. Because of that and the awesome legends we have here, Bolon Hubert, who never stop working for you, all of you out there, even when you may not like them, they like you. And so support them, give them your love and these encouraging comments, because there's a lot of passion going on behind the scenes here, both for the players and the ecosystem, the community builders, and the technical builders as well. So thank you to everybody. And with that, please join me in a big fat bullish.
Bullish! Thank you, everyone, and we will see you next week.
DeFi Kingdoms. where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.